G'day, and welcome back to Celebrate Real Profit. This is the second time I've started this. I had a real frog in my throat. And what I'm about to share with you is creating my own vulnerability. So yesterday, sharing with you a YouTube footage that I was watching of Matthew Kos. He talks about 10 things of why you should stay single until the person that you meet actually does these things. And here at Celebrate Real Profit, we are sharing, discussing, freely expanding and thriving in all areas of your life. Yes, I'm trained as a certified practicing accountant. We're not just talking about the financial aspects. We're talking about freely expanding in all areas of your life. And yesterday, number 1 was true to their word. And 2, today we are discussing about them expressing that they miss you, them saying that they, expressing their vulnerability of where they're coming from. And to me, this is again about the wait. It's about waiting, self-soothing, and being confident in seeing ourselves as value and allowing the other person to be seen as value and see whether they are expressing these things to you. And these things that we're discussing is acknowledging the value in the relationship. So it's important to always see someone as value and then to be confident and self-soothe and do the wait to see who they are. And as I share that, it sounds like a test. It's not a test. It's an opportunity for you to be nurturing and loving and supportive in the value that you are, and enabling the other person to step forward and share the value that they are. And in collaboration, the value that you will celebrate together in the relationship will be what you two will celebrate as the relationship, the value that you share. So yes, we're talking about the second point, that they are being vulnerable and they share that they miss you. And being curious about this, are you already always listening to everything that they say? And are they saying, I miss you? Are they just saying it in another way? They haven't specifically said, I miss you. Yet we are almost putting words into their mouth. And, oh, yes, they've said that. Yes, they've said that. And in fact, they have not. Are they actually being vulnerable, or are we just looking for clues as we are not confident and standing in our own value, and that we are reading into something that is not there? Are we actually enabling them not to be vulnerable? Are we actually enabling them to get off the hook of not being vulnerable and not seeing ourselves as value, not seeing themselves as value, and not seeing that them being vulnerable is an important part in a value-based relationship? For we're not talking about value as in, beliefs. We're talking about how we see someone as being whole and complete. So we see ourselves as whole and complete. We see someone else as whole and complete, and how the relationship we share together reflects that value. So are they true to their word? And from my own personal experience, I've had people say to me that I love you, yet their other actions do not reflect that. For example, they may say that I love you, yet turn around and devalue you in the same conversation. And or like a simple way that they devalue is they don't ask you how your day is. They'll ask you how your day is. You start to share it and then they cut you off. Or you share how your day is, you haven't finished your story and they jump in with their own story of the day. And if their own story of the day is a woe is me, to my personal experience of now looking back in hindsight, is they don't value me, they're not listening to me, they are purely waiting for an opportunity to be covert in getting what they're seeking, and that's, their own validation, yet they don't value me, so they skip over me to get to their own validation. So that's a personal experience from me, in that their, I love yous were not reflected in their other actions. So yes, they may have said things that I was listening for, yet the rest of their actions did not reflect that. So I invite you to be curious in these 10 things as we discuss them. So yesterday, true to their word; today, that they express something like they miss you. That's them being vulnerability. And is that reflective in all areas of the value-based relationship that you are developing? For we are talking about ways to be curious, to freely expand and thrive in all areas of our lives. My name is Kerry O'Shea. G'day. This is Celebrate Real Profit, and bye for now.